Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome back to another high-level game of StarCraft 2. Today we have ByuN versus Dream, and this is ByuN's SCV, who starts working on a depot, and here we have Dream's SCV working on a depot. As they're working in unison on other sides of the map, in other parts of the world, but they will never be quite as connected as right in this moment, where they're going to be finishing at exactly, well, almost exactly the same time. They even get the same task afterwards, and that's building a barracks. So both players go for that barracks before a gas, of course the most standard of openers in the TVT, often followed up by a second gas there. We see the second gas go down on both sides as well. Yep, this is all really standard, especially on a smaller map like Berlingrad, and a map without a ramp leading up in towards the natural. It's extremely common to see double gas openers. It's a lot safer. It allows you to be a little bit aggressive on the map, but it can also just allow you to be safer in the early game, get faster factory units out, get a lot more gas early on, which allows for that quicker Raven as well. So there's just a lot more options available. While if you open up with a barracks into command center, these things are often going to be just a little bit harder. Now, the question is, of course, who will be the aggressor and who will be the defender here? And in my experience, a lot of the time, we do see some type of aggression or some type of wonky play coming out of Dream. ByuN, of course, also isn't above just sending 5 Reapers and 3 cars across the map, going for some damage, but he can do a bit of both. You know, he can do basically everything. So we see often a good indicator of what someone's going to do is checking how many workers they have left in the gas. So we see 2-2 on both sides. Well, that actually doesn't tell us too much. If you pull out a little more, most of the time you're going to be more defensive. You get a slightly faster command center. You might follow this up with like a mine as a second factory unit after that initial Hellion. Dream is going to be the aggressive one with the first Reaper though. Neither player SCV scouted. Ooh, ByuN gets the first shot on. In this Reaper, oh, did he just type? Did he just type while in the middle of a micro war? That's impressive. He just stopped moving with his Reaper. Yeah, he's continuously talking as well. I mean, yeah, having a blast together, aren't they? It's going to be a Reaper into reactor for both players here. This is pretty much, this has been the standard for a very long time. Reaper into reactor. When I was talking with some of the European Terrans, they were telling me about that in the current EU meta, it's really common to open up with triple Reaper into 2 factory units, and one of these factory units being a mine. In Korea, we see that it is a double Reaper into reactor, Hellion, and then still into a mine. So interesting little difference there between the servers that I honestly wasn't aware of before I saw this game. So let's see what the main follow-ups are going to be, as everything just seems very similar. Medevac usually indicates some type of aggression, while on the other side, out of Dream, we're seeing a tech lab being constructed on this starport. So a slightly different opener, and this is where I guess these build orders are going to kind of change a little bit. They won't quite be as similar as perhaps you would expect anymore. We're going to have to see exactly what this is going to be out of ByuN, as the Cyclone won't be out yet. There's going to be 4 Marines. Is he just going to pick up these units and go? Or yeah, okay, he is. So that's 1 Hellion, 2 Reapers, 4 Marines. Single mine stays at home. It's kind of a defensive tool. This depot will plug the hole that is on the bottom side of this ramp. So if any type of Reaper run by wants to be happening, that's not really going to be possible. We see Dream moving out, trying to spot a medevac. We'll just barely miss it though. His mine is also out of position. Cyclone with 5 Marines in the natural should be capable of taking care of this. This doesn't get spotted, by the way. It's kind of a big deal. I think 3-4 workers will go down here. Cyclone needs to start popping into action. Raven is also out of position. 3 workers. Hey, that's free money. You know, that's actually a free pickup here. That's kind of big. Sure, the first Raven is going to be delayed on the side of ByuN, but 3 workers are 3 workers, and you still have that constant threat on the map. That is something that can't be underestimated either. Right now, Dream is not aware whether this medevac is going back home or if this medevac is going to continue moving in. And often the scariest thing against Terran is not knowing what is happening on the map. So not knowing whether this thing is here. So at this point, Dream is just going to be forced to leave Cyclones, leave Marines at home. There is going to be some type of aggression, double Reaper as well as a Hellion moving forward. First Reaper is just going to fall though, as the Raven makes its way into the natural. Tank, Marine, Cyclone moving towards that direction though, and Maybe Dream will be capable of taking out a couple of workers. Quick pull here out of ByuN. Very good response time. We'll lose one worker and a marine, but that should be about it. For 50 energy. Let's not forget that energy also is a resource. At the same time, we have some minor trades in the middle of the map. And I think this Hellion and this mine will end up falling. Good start for ByuN here, I would say. His overall Raven energy is still is now again even to his opponent. Of course, his Ravens were a bit slower to be built because of that initial medevac, because of the single turret that was used here. I actually think that ByuN might be in a position where he wants to push at this point. Double tank defensively. Less marines. Fast third CC though for Dream, so he cut a couple of marines to get that faster third. You see ByuN build that third CC on location. Won't need to fly it over. But if he would lose map control at this point, that means that the third base also would be in major danger. 1-1's actually being constructed a lot faster here. This is double eBay before barracks 2 and 3. So this is a risky move that you don't see very often. It's going to give Dream the ability to hit 1-1 and perhaps even 2-2 timings, which ByuN needs to kind of defend. This turret is not going to block this Cyclone from killing the Raven, but it will kill the Cyclone. So a Cyclone for a Raven is a good trade for the Cyclone. Well, not for the Cyclone, but for the owner of the Cyclone. Well, the Cyclone dies, that's never really a good trade. And there's triple Ravens still here for ByuN. Honestly, this looks kind of scary for Dream right now. I'm not saying that ByuN can just move in and win the game. There's a couple of Vikings out, but it is scary nonetheless. Like, ByuN just has a lot of energy. He has 4 tanks coming in. There is a sensor tower currently on the way. I think with these Vikings trying to kind of zone out the Ravens is going to be the most important thing in this entire fight. Once this sensor tower finishes up, I think Dream will feel a little bit more comfortable. Scan out of ByuN, making sure, hey, what's going on over here, buddy? Like, can I move in? Can I not move in? And we see Dream immediately just kind of moving his army towards this top side, just ensuring himself that he can do whatever he wants. The triple Raven with the double Viking planning to move into the main base right now, though. That's actually kind of interesting, and I'm curious what he actually wants to do with this. We have a couple of Vikings moving towards this dead space, so I do believe that Dream is aware of what's happening. I mean, he scanned and saw no Raven Viking. Oh, here come 3 Vikings. Oh, double interference matrix. Couple of turrets can be thrown down as well here, I do believe. Yep, that's 1, that's 2. Vikings will go down here for Dream. 1 Viking has already fallen. Second Viking goes down as well. This is an interesting little attack here that we're seeing, as these Ravens are going to get sacrificed. I'm not quite sure why. At the same time, we have a drop into the natural. Cool little sequence here that ByuN is opting for, as 8 workers have gone down already. The Vikings that landed will get taken out. These Stained Marines will also need to pick up. 10 workers go down for the price of, what was it, 3 Ravens and 2 Vikings. I'm not even sure if that is entirely worth it. Complete air control right now, air dominance you could even say, for Dream. ByuN up in workers, he's going to get a 4CC, but the 4CC is almost done already here for Dream. Interference matrix will try to break this position. Are there any interference matrices remaining? Yes, there are 2. And with combat shield, I think that eventually Dream should be capable of taking this out. Now, Marine drop does make its way into the main base. Combat shield still not done here, by the way. 1-1 does end up finishing now. 6-7 more workers will fall. And Dream taking his sweet time trying to take out this position, but these tanks can both shoot on that tank, and that was a wasted interference matrix. As long as ByuN keeps vision of this high ground, it's actually going to be pretty difficult for Dream to break this, I think. Oh, here we have the high ground scan. I think ByuN was hoping that this tank could shoot as well, of course not quite being the case. Now, eventually Dream will clean this up, but he's going to have to deal with another threat here towards the left side. Double drop heading towards the main base. Turrets are being constructed, but it might just be too late. Double Marines, once again, dropping in the main base. This will pull a portion of the army towards the main, which is also the location that ByuN is planning on dropping on later. This is still alive. If ByuN's paying attention, these Ravens could be in a bit of trouble maybe. Nah, they're being covered by a tank. ByuN realizing what's about to happen, just moves back ever so slightly with these tanks, moving them into a more defensive position, still wants to block that fort base from ever going down. This turret, oh, there's just too much in the main base. This is not a drop that you can do. And ByuN kind of digging his own grave here with that double marine drop, pulling an entire army towards the main, then boosts in 2 medevacs and just loses absolutely everything. Now, his fort base is mining already. +2 is on the way, no armor quite yet, but there's a lot of money, there's a lot of eco. Currently 86 workers against 66. That is a solid 20 workers above his opponents. And that is really just a big deal. That is actually a big deal. We have good production as well coming in for ByuN. With the 8 barracks done already, just now the second factory is coming down for Dream, but the second factory has already been pumping out tanks on the side of ByuN. So although ByuN's been taking perhaps slightly worse trades during this game, a lot of the trades have been units for eco. And if you're allowed to live long enough, and you're denying that fort base for long enough, I think that is completely fine. We do see a planetary here on the fort. We have a 5th on location, and ByuN still playing with complete map control, or at least it feels like he's playing with complete map control. No turrets in the main base, but these marines are going to get rallied in there, and I think that this SCV has some ideas of getting turrets down, no? I'm not sure how ByuN is so aware of what's happening here, but this double drop is going to get blasted. I mean, these tanks are in position and turrets should start getting constructed at this point. Yeah, they 100% will. Cool. All right, so the sensor towers are occupying the minimap currently, as a majority of the space on the minimap is covered in those sensor towers. I wouldn't mind if they would give the sensor tower a different visual indicator for observers, so that we could see who do these sensor towers belong to, you know? So yeah, like slightly red circle rather than just a white circle. Might look ugly though, so I'm not sure. But would make it a little bit easier at times. Not in this case, but sometimes you can't even really see where everyone's vision is. Let's keep that as a thought in our mind. Single turret here should not be able to deter this double drop from heading in. Should not be able to do too much. We have a little bit of we have a pretty decently sized fight over here. So ByuN decides to push in, but the anti-armor missile did some big work here. At the same time we have a flank coming in. ByuN starts boosting forward, or at least moving forward, will boost past this turret. Oh, straight on top of the turret he says, no shot for you, my friend. He boosts through, and there's really nothing in the main base. Now, luckily for Dream, a big wave of units is about to spawn, and including that wave were these 2 tanks. Those are going to be extremely helpful. Boosts out as well. Infantry armor level 2 is about to finish up. These 2 Vikings will die. What's here at the 3rd base? Well, there's too many tanks, I believe. Actually, these are just barely out of range. So, a couple extra workers are going to fall. Still 90 workers here for ByuN against the 73 of Dream, as 7-8 workers fall. These Vikings are going to get targeted down as well with the solid upgrades. These Marines are doing a fantastic job. I know it was only 4 Marines, but they really put in some work there. And that is cool to see. Now, ByuN has spread himself pretty thin, so the moment he loses map control, that's just going to be a very scary moment. And here we also kind of see the difference between ByuN and other Terran players, as other Terran players really care about that air superiority, the air dominance. You know, the Vikings, the Ravens, all that good jazz. We see ByuN is just continuously mass-producing medevacs off of 2 starports at this point. 3 starports he has, 2 of them without any kind of add-on. And just producing as many units as he can and just kind of sending them in, trying to deal damage. He plays this high eco, massive trading style where he wants to throw away army, not throw it away, but trade his army out. Perhaps slightly inefficiently at times, although so far it seems that his unit loss actually is in favor of him. Once again, ByuN moving into a fight is 3-3 against 2-2, so Dream is favored in these engagements. If it weren't that ByuN just has slightly more stuff right now. Topside base is not quite going to get denied as these Marines need to return. ByuN is playing some very quick StarCraft 2 right now. He's floating a bit of money as well. 15 Marine production at the same time. We have 8 barracks on his side, 2 factories, triple starport. And once that 3-3 finishes, these trades are just going to get better and better. As scans are a fine tool if you're lacking Vikings. Once again, we'll have a slight rotation. He's actually going to try to drop on top of this. I'm not sure if this is possible. I think it is because ByuN thinks it is. Tanks in the back trying to get in position as well. Every single tank is going to get taken out. And this 3rd base is going to be in a bit of trouble right now. Double Viking zoning away these medevacs won't quite work. What is the plan here for Dream? Well, Dream is running out of supply right now, and he's running out of these left side bases as well. Because there's nothing here. Scan out of ByuN, making sure there's nothing on the bottom side. He says, hey, if there ain't nothing here, then I think I'm actually in a good spot. And I think that is indeed the case. +3 vehicle weapons is about to finish up as well. Or, well, just starting now, excuse me, for ByuN. Vehicle plating first on the way for Dream. And ByuN just keeps dropping in. He never returns home with his army. If you get sent out on the map as one of ByuN's forces, there ain't no coming back home, as these tanks are just moving on siege into this position, and that is not possible. Dream, what are you doing? This is going to cost you quite some tanks, as 2-3 tanks do end up getting taken out. Finally, the +3 armor is about to finish up here for Shopify Rebellion's ByuN. He still has these 2 tanks, kind of as the backbone of this army. There's a good amount of scans, as I believe we have... Oh, we have only 5 orbitals against 7. I didn't realize how many orbitals Dream had. But doesn't quite have the bank, does not really have the production either that ByuN has. And Dream is working towards a very sophisticated late-game army, and ByuN is just continuously hitting him with a stick. And Dream keeps saying, oh, stop hitting me with a stick, I'm trying to build something sophisticated here. Then ByuN comes in with 2 or 3 sticks. He's just continuously hitting Dream in his head over and over again. Now with a 5 marine drop on top of these 2 tanks, this is not quite going to work. You see these tanks just slightly moving forward. This is not in range though, but it will be capable of holding this bottom side position. And we have a lot of supply in the main base for ByuN currently, which should start marching somewhere at some point. We're just kind of waiting for this massive army to move just anywhere and to break whatever defenses Dream has, because I don't actually think it's going to be possible for Dream to hold anything. When we see the scan towards the top side, I think ByuN now realizing there's absolutely 0 defense whatsoever, sends out double liberators to harass, one perhaps towards the natural, one towards his 5th base. His 5th base, no turrets. There is no air support. There are no marines there either. So that means this base is, well, either going to be taken out or at least denied mining temporarily. At the same time, ByuN wants to cut off the reinforcement towards that base. Dream trying to re-establish his 3rd base at the same time. So the moment ByuN rotates, Dream's also going to rotate his mining. But all of these marines moving in, anti-armor missile will hit. Turrets trying to stop these marines from entering this fort. But I don't think it's going to matter. GG gets called and ByuN wins the game here on Burlingdrad. Fantastic TVT, high level stuff, really fun style. ByuN just saying, hey, I don't give a crap about air units. I'm just gonna get 20 medevacs. I don't need no Vikings, no Ravens. I get my initial 6 Vikings, my initial 3 Ravens, and that will be it. That's a difference here in the unit loss step, you know? So many sophisticated units, and if you can't build up that count, if you can't stabilize with these Ravens and Vikings, ByuN's just going to absolutely slaughter you. That's what happened here. That's going to be it for me today. Thanks all so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see all of you next time for a new video. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye.